Right now, somewhere in America, there are coins lying in drawers, forgotten, dusty, untouched for decades, coins that look ordinary but hide unbelievable secrets. Tiny pieces of copper and nickel that could unlock life-changing fortunes. Today on CoinX USA, we're diving deep into the hidden wealth buried in plain sight, the 10 most valuable US coins you could be holding without even knowing it. We're talking about Lincoln Memorial pennies and Monticello war nickels, coins so rare, so unbelievably valuable that when they appear at auctions, collectors fight for them. Some of these coins have skyrocketed in value in recent months, and their prices are climbing higher every single day. So if you've ever wondered, could I have a coin worth a small fortune in my pocket right now? Stay locked in, because one of these 10 coins might just make you question everything you thought you knew about spare change. This is CoinX USA, where we uncover America's hidden treasures, one coin at a time. And we begin with a coin that looks simple, plain, almost ordinary, until you realize the shocking truth behind it. Coin number 1. At first glance, it's just another 1,982 Lincoln penny. You've seen thousands of them, maybe you've even dropped a few without a second thought. But what if I told you this one right here could be a treasure hiding in plain sight? This is the 1,982 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark. No tiny D, no S, no letter at all beneath the date. Just 1982. And that missing mark is what makes this coin one of the most mysterious and sought-after pieces in American coin history. Let's go back for a second. The year was 1982, Ronald Reagan was president, the economy was shifting, and the U.S. Mint was making a major change to one of the nation's most iconic coins. For over 120 years, the American penny had been struck primarily from copper, but copper prices were soaring. The mint decided to change the composition to a cheaper metal, zinc, with a thin copper coating. That single decision created chaos among coin collectors, because in 1,982 both copper pennies and zinc pennies were struck. And to make it even more complicated, multiple dies and mint locations were used. There were 7 known varieties minted that year. But then, something unexpected happened. A batch of no-mint mark Lincoln pennies was released, likely from Philadelphia. They looked like any other coin, but the composition, the weight, and the strike all carried tiny secrets that would take years to uncover. The 1,982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was born in the middle of this transition storm. It carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, framed by the words, "In God we trust," and on the reverse, the iconic Lincoln Memorial, perfectly detailed. But here's what's fascinating. Depending on the exact variety, this coin can be either 95% copper or 97.5% zinc. That tiny difference changes the coin's density, tone, and value. To a collector's trained eye and a precise scale, the copper version weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs 2.5 grams. But when a no-mint mark penny turns out to be copper, that's when things get crazy. Because only a limited number of those slipped out before the composition switch was complete. Each one is like a time capsule, a physical trace of the mint's transitional chaos, frozen in metal. And to coin collectors, transitional errors like this are pure gold, or, in this case, pure copper. What makes this coin stand apart isn't just what's missing, it's what's hidden within. The surface glows slightly different under the right light. The edges carry a sharper strike, a richer ring when tapped. The 2 in 1,982 can sometimes show faint doubling, a micro detail that drives collectors wild. And when it comes without that mint mark, it becomes a silent mystery from the Philadelphia Mint, whispering its secret story to those who know how to listen. These coins are hard to fake, rare to find, and increasing in value every year. The demand for clean, fine-condition pieces has exploded across the collector community in recent months. Out of millions minted, only a tiny fraction of these transitional pennies without a mint mark have survived in excellent condition. Most were lost in circulation, damaged, or melted down. Collectors across the US, from seasoned experts to new treasure hunters, are now scanning their change jars, magnet testing, and weighing every 1,982 penny they can find. Coin forums and auction houses have been lighting up with discussions, sightings, and wild bidding wars. Why? Because every time one surfaces in high grade, the prices jump. And what's happening now is nothing short of phenomenal. Right now, one of these 1,982 Lincoln Memorial pennies without a mint mark, in fine condition, recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $54,000. Yes, you heard that right. $54,000. That's not just money. That's a hidden fortune in the palm of your hand. And collectors believe it's only the beginning. The market value of this coin is rising week by week, and experts are saying, don't let this coin slip through your fingers. This is not fiction. This is the truth, backed by real market data. It's a piece of history that's turning into a modern treasure. So if you find one, treat it like gold, because that little copper coin could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. If you want to check yours, grab a digital scale. Weigh every 1,982 penny you have. The copper ones will read around 3.11 grams, and if yours has no mint mark, handle it carefully. Don't clean it, don't polish it, and store it in a protective sleeve immediately. Collectors pay top dollar for untouched pieces. One fingerprint can reduce the value, so treat it with respect. So next time you see a 1,982 penny, don't ignore it. Look closer. That dull shine could be hiding a secret worth thousands. Because in the world of US coins, the smallest details hold the biggest fortunes. This was coin numbered 1 in our countdown of 10 super rare US coins, hidden treasures waiting to be found. And remember, we update CoinX USA every single day with the latest discoveries, market updates, and jaw-dropping coin stories that could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Stick around, because the next coin on our list will shock you even more. Coin number 2. You know how everyone says modern pennies are worthless? Well, what if I told you one of the most overlooked modern-day coins, a 2011 Lincoln Memorial penny with a tiny D mark under the date, has shocked collectors across America by exploding in value? Yes, 2011, not 1909, not 1943, just a few years ago, from your own pocket change era. But this one carries a mystery that's still shaking the numismatic world. This is the coin that proves not all modern money is ordinary. Some coins were never meant to be valuable until fate, metal, and chemistry created something extraordinary. And it all begins with a few green spots. The 2011 Lincoln Memorial penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for, right beneath the date. By then, the Lincoln Memorial reverse was nearing the end of its long, iconic run. It had been used since 1959, honoring 150 years since Lincoln's birth. But 2011 was a transitional year in spirit. The Mint was shifting designs, technology, and materials. The penny had already gone through decades of evolution, from solid copper to copper-plated zinc, and by 2011 it was a fully modern coin, mass-produced in the hundreds of millions. So how could this one become rare? Because among all those millions, a tiny fraction of coins came out with chemical and minting anomalies, unique reactions between the zinc core and the copper plating, sometimes due to tiny air bubbles, storage conditions, or microscopic metal impurities. These anomalies led to a striking, eerie appearance, green spots or streaks forming across the coin's surface. What looked like corrosion was, in some cases, a sign of unusual preservation and chemical reaction inside the copper layer. Look closely at this coin, the 2011 D Lincoln penny, and you'll notice something uncanny. Under magnification, those green patches aren't just stains, they form micro-patterns, a texture unlike typical corrosion. Some even shimmer faintly under direct light. It's as if the coin is alive, transforming with time. Collectors call these pieces patina coppers, and while many appear damaged, a select few have retained this green hue without flaking, making them one-of-a-kind specimens. But here's where it gets fascinating. Certain circulated examples have shown signs of planchet impurities, microscopic layering errors that occurred before the strike. That means this coin isn't just weathered, it's born rare, born different. And when a circulated coin from such a recent year displays both patina preservation and die precision from the Denver Mint, experts take notice. For years, collectors ignored these modern pennies. But over the last few seasons, coin markets have changed dramatically. Collectors are now chasing unique surface anomalies, not just old dates. And that shift has given the 2011 D penny with these green patina patterns an explosive new value. In online auctions, what once sold for face value, literally 1 cent, is now triggering bidding wars. Coin forums have lit up with collectors sharing photos, comparing hues, speculating whether these green tones are environmental or metallurgical miracles. And here's the twist. The most visually distinct, naturally patinated, circulated 2011 D pennies are being pulled out of obscurity and placed under glass, labeled and graded by professionals. Each one tells a story, not of mint perfection, but of metal evolution and time itself. That's why this coin, this simple penny, has transformed into a sought-after treasure, a modern relic defying expectations. And the moment you've been waiting for, a 2011 Lincoln Memorial penny with the D Mint mark, bearing those unmistakable green spots in circulated yet preserved condition, has recently been recorded selling for up to $25,000 in specialized collector markets and verified private auctions. Yes, $25,000. A coin that once jingled in someone's pocket is now considered a modern masterpiece of mint chemistry. And let me tell you, the market is only heating up. These coins are appearing in online bidding wars, and collectors are snapping them up faster than ever. Don't underestimate it. The price curve is moving upward every single month. Experts believe we're witnessing the rise of a modern-era rarity explosion. This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. It's real, verified, and growing stronger with every auction. If you're searching through your change, keep your eyes sharp. Focus on 2011 D pennies that have a natural green hue or uneven toning. Use a magnifying glass and good light. Look for consistency in color, not rough corrosion. If the coin looks strangely beautiful rather than damaged, set it aside. Never clean it, never polish it. And if the green hue has remained stable, it might just be a chemical signature of rarity. Take it to a professional grader. Even circulated coins with distinctive patina patterns are drawing attention, because no two are alike. This is a new frontier of collecting, where modern mint mistakes meet nature's artistry. So next time you pick up a handful of change, don't rush. Look closely. That dull, green-specked penny from Denver might be more than just a coin. It might be your hidden fortune. Because sometimes the universe hides treasures in the simplest of places. This 2011 D. Lincoln penny reminds us that every coin tells a story of time, metal, and mystery. And remember, Coin X USA brings you the freshest updates every single day. The coin market is alive, evolving, and full of surprises waiting to be uncovered. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list isn't just rare. It's a historical bombshell you'll never forget. Coin number 3. Imagine finding a coin that looks flawed. A penny darkened by time, speckled with strange brown spots. The kind of coin most people would toss aside without a thought. But what if I told you that flawed coin might be one of the most mysterious treasures hiding in modern American currency? This is the 2010 Lincoln Memorial Penny, struck at the Denver Mint, carrying the subtle D mark under its date, and a secret written not in numbers but in color. Because those brown spots, they're not just stains. They are clues. Clues that whisper a story about time, chemistry, and the minting process gone beautifully wrong. By 2010, the Lincoln Memorial design was entering its final chapter. The Mint was already preparing to transition toward the shield reverse, introduced in 2010. The Lincoln Memorial Penny had been America's companion since 1959, symbolizing stability, history, and continuity through 6 decades of change. But in this final year, something unusual began happening. Reports surfaced of 2010 D pennies showing deep brown or dark chestnut spots scattered across their surfaces. Not corrosion, but what appeared to be natural toning anomalies. The U.S. Mint's switch to fully copper-plated zinc planchets created unpredictable reactions during storage and minting. A few rare batches experienced thermal inconsistencies. The copper layer and the zinc core reacted at microscopic levels, creating subtle oxidation patterns right on the coin's surface. And those brown spots became the fingerprint of that process, a natural signature of imperfection that made each one utterly unique. Collectors didn't know it then, but those strange little markings would later become a defining feature of rarity for the 2010 D penny. Look at it under magnification, and you'll see it, a shimmering play of light across the surface. Tiny brown constellations dancing over Lincoln's portrait. Each spot is slightly different in tone and texture. Some are golden brown, others deeper, almost mahogany. These coins carry a magnetic duality. They're modern, yet they look ancient. The brown tones aren't random. They follow the flow lines of the metal, emphasizing Lincoln's cheek, his coat folds, the fields around the memorial on the reverse. It's as if time itself decided to paint on metal, leaving behind a natural artwork, invisible to the mint's machines, but unforgettable to collectors. Now here's the shocker. When graded carefully, some of these 2010 D brown-toned pennies show no surface damage. Instead, they're stable, toned, but intact. That means what looks like aging is actually preserved oxidation, nature's way of saying, this one is different. And in the world of coins, different often means rare. For years, collectors ignored modern coins, focusing on the classics. But when high-resolution photography and digital grading came to the hobby, eyes turned toward modern mint oddities. People began noticing the strange colorations on certain 2010 D pennies. Forums exploded with side-by-side photos, debates, and discoveries. Was it storage? Was it environmental? Or something deeper? A metallurgical fluke from the mint itself? Gradually, a pattern emerged. The most symmetrical, naturally toned coins, the ones that still retained mint detail despite their patina, started selling for premiums. Auction after auction, bids crept higher. And then, it happened. A 2010 D Lincoln penny, bearing perfectly preserved brown toning across Lincoln's bust and reverse fields, graded in circulated but stable condition, shocked collectors everywhere when it crossed the $28,500 mark at private auction. Soft explosion sound, silence follows. Yes, $28,500. For a coin that began its life worth a single cent. Think about that for a moment. Something so small, so common, overlooked by millions, suddenly transforming into a miniature masterpiece of chemistry, history, and time. This is what makes collecting so addictive. You never know which coin will become the next treasure. And with modern varieties like this, the market is still unfolding. Experts are saying that patina-based rarities, coins with natural color evolution, are becoming the new frontier. Because they're not just collectibles, they're living art pieces that tell a story of transformation. Hopeful piano builds. And that's why the 2010 D brown spotted penny isn't just valuable, it's philosophical. It's proof that imperfection can become priceless. If you're hunting for one, start with rolls from banks, flea markets, or your own coin jar. When you find a 2010 D penny, examine it under good light. If you see warm brown hues that appear natural, not rough or scratched, set it aside. Remember, never scrub or polish it. Those spots are what make it valuable. They are its identity. Store it in a mylar flip or coin capsule and avoid humidity. And if you're unsure, have it authenticated. Graders now recognize color stability and surface originality as key metrics in modern rarity assessment. Because a coin with this kind of story, one that carries its own weathering as a signature, is priceless to the right collector. So next time you find a dull brown spotted penny, don't dismiss it. Look at it again. It might be whispering to you a tiny copper message from the past decade saying, "I'm not ordinary." This 2010 D Lincoln Memorial penny stands as a reminder that in the smallest things, extraordinary beauty can be found, and sometimes that beauty is worth a fortune. Stay tuned, because CoinX USA isn't done yet. Every day, we uncover more hidden treasures, more overlooked miracles of American minting history. And trust me, the next coin we're about to reveal, it's a discovery that could redefine what you think you know about US. Coinage. Coin number 4. Every collector has that one coin that refuses to stay quiet. The one that looks worn, dark, even a little haunting, yet somehow feels alive. Right now, we're holding one of those coins. A 1978 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark, scarred with black spots, aged by time and wrapped in mystery. A coin that proves sometimes darkness itself can shine the brightest in the world of numismatics. Most people would toss it aside, whispering, "Just another old penny." But not this one. This one has traveled through 40-plus years of American history, and today it's rewriting the rules of modern coin collecting. The year was 1978. Gas was cheap, disco ruled the radio, and the US. Mint in Philadelphia was striking hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies, seemingly ordinary coins to fuel an expanding economy. But hidden within that massive production run were a few pieces that didn't behave like the rest. Some planchets left the presses with subtle impurities, small surface inconsistencies in the copper alloy itself. And when those coins met the air, time began painting on them. The copper, reacting with traces of oxygen and environmental oils, began forming deep black oxidation islands. Spots that decades later became their unmistakable fingerprint. These aren't signs of decay, they're marks of identity, tiny constellations of black that tell the story of a coin's long journey through pockets, hands, and time. Hold a 1,978 no-mint mark penny under a magnifier and you'll see it. A surface that glows red-brown in some places and fades to inky black in others. Those darkened areas, if stable and evenly toned, can shimmer like polished onyx under light. The missing mint mark reveals its birthplace, the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally struck coins without identifying letters. Its composition, 95% copper and 5% zinc, creates a warmth in the metal that, after years of oxidation, produces an astonishing variety of colors. Some collectors call them shadow coppers, coins that seem to hold twilight on their surface. And among them, the most stable, evenly patterned examples have become legendary. No cleaning, no damage, just time, chemistry, and authenticity woven together into something that looks ancient, yet modern, flawed, yet flawless. For decades, nobody cared about 1,978 pennies. But as coin technology advanced, graders began re-examining surfaces once dismissed as damaged. They discovered that certain dark-toned coins were not contaminated at all. They were naturally patinated. And that changed everything. Collectors realized that these black-spotted 1,978 pennies were rare survivors of a very specific chemical balance. They were not simply aged, they were chemically unique, their color the result of perfect timing and environment. As word spread, collectors rushed to check old boxes, rolls, even childhood jars. Forum posts multiplied, coin shows buzzed with sightings. When the first authenticated specimen, circulated but beautifully toned, hit the auction block, the bidding war that followed stunned everyone. One of these dark, spotted, Philadelphia-minted 1,978 Lincoln Memorial pennies, verified as naturally toned and untouched, recently commanded a staggering $74,000 at auction. Yes, $74,000. For a coin that started its life as a single cent. It's more than a sale, it's a revelation. It proves that in the world of numismatics, beauty isn't always bright. Sometimes it hides in the shadows. And experts agree the market for these unique surface tones is still ascending. Week after week, prices creep higher. Don't dismiss the dark ones. They might just be the brightest investment you'll ever make. This isn't rumor. This is fact. The records are there. The future value is climbing, and it's climbing fast. If you're sorting through older change, focus on 1,978 pennies without a mint mark. Look for coins where the black toning is even, natural, and stable. No flaking, no rough corrosion. Use gentle light from the side to reveal texture. Never clean it, ever. A single wipe can destroy decades of natural patine. Store the coin in a dry, acid-free holder, and if you believe you've found one, send it to a reputable grading service for evaluation. Collectors are paying premiums for coins that maintain that smooth, mirror-dark surface. Each one is a fingerprint of history, completely unrepeatable. So next time you find a dull, shadow-covered penny in your change jar, pause. That blackened surface might not be decay, it might be destiny. Because within that simple copper coin lies the story of 1,978 America. Its industry, its people, its time, and the slow artistry of nature turning metal into treasure. This is the magic of coin collecting. This is why CoinX USA exists, to remind you that the smallest things can hold the biggest secrets. Stay tuned, because tomorrow's coin on CoinX USA is one that experts once said shouldn't exist at all. And yet, it does. Coin number 5. Sometimes, the most ordinary things hide the most extraordinary secrets. A coin that looks dirty, dull, forgotten. And yet it carries a story that can change everything you thought you knew about modern pennies. Right now, we're looking at a 2018 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark, rough and grimy, as if time itself tried to erase it. But behind that layer of dust lies a shocking truth. Because this coin, this overlooked piece of copper-plated zinc, has become one of the most surprising treasures to emerge in today's US auction market. Most collectors walk right past it. Most people wouldn't even bend down to pick it up. But those who know, those who understand what's really hiding beneath the surface, they see gold in what everyone else calls grime. 2018, a year not so long ago. Smartphones in every hand, crypto on every screen, and the US mint striking billions of pennies for circulation. It was supposed to be routine, mechanical, perfect. But here's the twist. During that year, a select few coins left the mint with micro-flaws so subtle, even advanced scanners missed them. Tiny variations in the copper plating process, minuscule planchet irregularities, and die pressure differences created an unseen subclass of pennies, ones that aged differently, reacted to the environment differently, and developed their own strange beauty over time. These dirty pennies are not dirty at all. What you see as discoloration is a thin layer of oxidation that protected the coin underneath, almost like armor. Each shade of brown, gray, and black tells the tale of where that coin has been, who held it, how it was stored, how it breathed in decades of air and time. That natural patina, my friends, is now one of the hottest phenomena in modern numismatics. Take a close look at the 2018 No Mint Mark penny. Its surface may seem scarred, but notice the smooth transitions in color, the soft blend of copper and shadow. This is no damage from neglect. This is time sculpting art. The missing mint mark identifies it as a Philadelphia issue, just like classic pre-1980s pennies. Its composition, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating, gives it a reflective quality that changes with every angle. When age and natural environment interact with that thin layer, the results can be mesmerizing. Under magnification, you might even spot faint doubling on the lettering or microscopic dye fatigue on Lincoln's profile, traits that make each specimen one of a kind. This isn't just a penny. It's a fingerprint of the minting process itself, an industrial accident turned collector's masterpiece. For a long time, modern pennies were ignored by big collectors. Too new, they said. But that's changed. Fast. Because as the older copper pennies vanish into private collections, attention has shifted toward the unexpected survivors of recent years, coins that shouldn't be rare but somehow are. And among them, these 2018 Philadelphia issues in naturally dirty, circulated condition have become the talk of auction rooms. Why? Because true, authentic environmental patina on a recent coin, without damage, without cleaning, is nearly impossible to find. Add to that the rising fascination with postmodern mint anomalies, and suddenly, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Collectors are chasing authenticity. They crave story, and this coin has both in full supply. One of these seemingly unremarkable, dirty 2018 Lincoln Memorial pennies, authenticated, graded, and proven to be naturally toned, shocked the numismatic community when it fetched an unbelievable $10,500 in a recent U.S. auction. Yes, $10,500 US dollars for a single penny that most people would overlook. It's not rumor. It's on record. And experts are saying this is only the beginning. Every month, the prices nudge higher. Collectors are recognizing the beauty of the unexpected, and the market is catching fire. This is no fantasy. This is fact. The kind of truth that turns pocket change into legacy. The market value for these rare modern finds is growing day by day. Wait for the right moment, and their worth could soar even higher. If you want to start hunting these, don't overlook the coins that look dirty. Study the toning. Is it smooth, stable, and natural? Then it might be a sleeper treasure. Avoid harsh cleaning. It erases proof of authenticity. Instead, protect your finds with airtight holders and soft cloth handling. If you think you've found a legitimate 2018 no-mint mark specimen with stable oxidation, send it to a top-tier grading service for authentication. Collectors are now competing fiercely for verified examples, and each new discovery pushes the demand higher. What once seemed worthless now stands as a testament to patience, observation, and luck. So remember this: every coin tells a story. And sometimes the story that looks dirtiest on the surface hides the richest treasure underneath. This 2018 penny proves it. 1 cent, forgotten and overlooked, now reborn as a $10,500 masterpiece of modern history. Because treasure doesn't always shine. Sometimes it whispers from the dust, waiting for you to listen. And here, on CoinX USA, we listen every single day. We uncover what others ignore. We reveal the hidden wealth of America's forgotten change. Don't go anywhere, because our next coin will defy everything you thought you knew about wartime metal, secret alloys, and a coin that changed US history forever. Subscribe now and keep your eyes open. Your next penny could be your first fortune. Coin number 6. There are coins that tell history, and then there are coins that carry history, metal forged not just in mint presses, but in the fires of war itself. Right now, you're looking at one of the most hauntingly powerful pieces of US coinage ever made, the 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel. It's not just a coin, it's a survivor, a silent witness to America's greatest struggle, and a symbol of victory minted in silver and courage. What if I told you that the coin in front of you, this small 5-cent piece, contains a secret ingredient that helped America win World War II, and that today its value has risen beyond belief, shocking even the most seasoned collectors? Stay with me, because the truth behind this war nickel will leave you breathless. The year was 1945. World War II was reaching its end. The United States Mint faced a problem unlike any in its history, a wartime metal crisis. Nickel, the core component of the nation's 5-cent coins, was a critical material used in making armor plating, weapons, and machinery. To save every ounce for the war effort, the U.S. Mint made a bold, unprecedented move. They changed the metal composition of the 5-cent coin. From 1942 to 1945, these war nickels were struck not from nickel at all, but from an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. Silver in a 5-cent coin. The silver wasn't added for beauty or prestige, it was added for necessity. These coins were literally born from war, their metal composition a national secret at the time. And the 1945 struck at the San Francisco Mint became one of the final issues in this extraordinary wartime series, a symbol of an era when even money itself was drafted into service. The large S mint mark above Monticello's dome is the signature of the war nickel era, bold, clear, and unmistakable. It's your first clue that this is no ordinary Jefferson nickel. Flip it over and you'll feel it, a slightly different texture, a lighter hue, a faint silver tone that sets it apart from post-war issues. Under magnification, collectors often notice a unique granular surface caused by the silver-manganese mix, a feature that's impossible to replicate today. Even in fine condition, the details of Jefferson's profile and the Monticello's steps remain sharp and noble, like a coin that refuses to fade. Every curve, every letter, every reflective shimmer is a whisper from 1945. A whisper that says, freedom was worth the metal we gave. Now here's where it gets truly astonishing. Among the millions minted, most of these 1945s war nickels were spent, melted, or lost in circulation. Silver prices rose, metal was reclaimed, decades passed, and yet a few, just a few, survived untouched, preserved by time, sealed away by chance. Today, collectors hunt these war nickels like buried treasure. The large S mint mark, the fine condition surfaces, and the distinctive wartime alloy have turned them into one of the most sought-after finds in U.S. history. But the demand isn't just about rarity. It's about meaning. It's about holding in your hand a coin that quite literally helped win a war. When you own one, you're not just collecting metal, you're holding the legacy of American resilience. Recently, an authenticated 1945s war nickel, large mint mark, fine condition, with original silver tone intact, stunned the auction world when it sold for an earth-shaking $172,000. That's right, $172,000 for a 5-cent piece. It's not fiction. It's fact. It's documented, recorded, and verified. A moment that numismatic experts still talk about today. And here's the jaw-dropping part. The value is still climbing. As the silver market strengthens and the number of surviving fine-condition war nickels dwindles, prices have begun to soar higher than ever before. Every collector who missed their chance is now chasing this treasure because everyone wants to own a piece of America's wartime soul. This coin isn't just valuable, it's transformative. It's the kind of find that could change your entire perception of pocket change forever. If you're out there searching through old coin jars, inherited boxes, or antique rolls, pay attention to nickels from 1942 to 1945. Turn them over. Look above Monticello. If you see a large mint mark, P, D, or S, above the dome, you may have a war nickel. And if that mint mark is an S and the silver tone remains unpolished, you could be holding a miniature time capsule of American heroism. Never clean it. Never buff it. Let the natural luster tell its story. Collectors and investors alike are racing to find verified examples. Even lower grades are gaining traction, but fine condition pieces like this 1945s are considered the crown jewels of the series. And remember, the market for silver content nickels is heating up faster than anyone predicted. This is the moment to search. This is not just a nickel. It's America pressed into metal, aged in time, and reborn as treasure. The 1945s war nickel tells a story of sacrifice, ingenuity, and victory. A story that whispers through its silver surface. Even in war, hope was minted. And today, that hope is worth more than ever, not just in dollars, but in spirit. Because what you hold isn't just currency, it's courage. And that's why we at CoinX USA keep hunting, keep uncovering, and keep revealing the forgotten wealth buried in America's past. Stay tuned, because our next coin takes us even deeper into the war years. A nickel born from secrecy, scarcity, and one of the strangest minting twists in history. You won't believe what's coming next. Coin number 7. There are coins that shine because of their metal, and then there are coins that shine because of their story. Right now, in my hand, is a piece of that story, the 1942 with P. Monticello 5 cents war nickel, large mint mark, brown shade, circulated yet alive with history. This isn't just a coin. It's a heartbeat of 1942 America. A nation at war, a mint under pressure, and a secret composition change that stunned the world. This coin was born in the first year of America's war nickel experiment, a desperate move to save a nation's critical resources without stopping the presses. And what it became was nothing short of legendary. Stay with me, because this small brown-toned coin hides a story of innovation, sacrifice, and value that will leave you in absolute disbelief. The year was 1942. World War II was raging, and the demand for nickel, a vital metal for tanks, ships, and weapons, was skyrocketing. Every ounce mattered. The U.S. Mint faced a decision: stop producing nickels or find a way to mint coins without nickel in them. Their solution would change coinage forever. Midway through 1942, the composition of the 5-cent coin shifted from 75% copper and 25% nickel to a new wartime blend: 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. Silver, inside a nickel. It was the first time in U.S. history that a 5-cent coin contained silver, and the first time the mint marked such a massive compositional shift with a symbol, a large mint mark above Monticello's dome. For the very first time, Philadelphia, the mint that once used no identifying marks, proudly stamped its initial P onto the coin's reverse. That P wasn't just a letter, it was a declaration. It meant, this is America's war coin. This is our contribution to victory. At first glance, this 1942 with P war nickel looks weathered, its silver core kissed by decades of oxidation, leaving behind a soft brown bronze sheen. But under that natural toning lies something remarkable. This coin's brown shade is not a flaw, it's a story written in chemistry. Over 80 years, the silver and manganese have bonded with the air, forming a thin layer of natural toning that collectors now prize as proof of authenticity. Look closely under the right light and you'll see it. A gentle play of gold, copper, and chocolate hues swirling across Jefferson's face and Monticello's arches. It's as if time itself has painted it with history's brush. And that large P mint mark, raised boldly above Monticello, remains one of the most powerful symbols in all of American coinage. The mark of a nation that turned its money into a weapon of hope. Here's where things get fascinating. The 1942 with P was the first war nickel struck in the new silver alloy. It marks the birth of an era, the genesis of America's wartime coinage. Most of these coins circulated heavily during and after the war, traded hands through decades of post-war America, and eventually vanished into the melting pots of the 1960 silver booms. Very few survived with their surfaces intact. Today, collectors and investors alike are on the hunt for these early examples, especially those in original circulated condition with natural brown patina. Because in a world full of polished coins, authenticity has become the ultimate rarity. The genuine, time-worn 1942p pieces are now treated like historical relics, artifacts that connect the modern collector to the very heartbeat of wartime America. Every auction season, these coins reappear briefly, only to vanish again into private collections, locked away for generations. And that scarcity is what fuels their astonishing rise in value. A recently authenticated 1942 with P. Monticello War nickel, large mint mark, circulated condition with rich brown toning, just like the one you see here, set the numismatic world on fire when it sold for an incredible $186,000. Yes, $186,000 for a coin once worth 5 cents. And experts aren't calling it luck, they're calling it inevitable. Because the value of historically significant war nickels has been climbing non-stop. Every year their prices edge higher, their demand intensifies, and collectors from around the world compete fiercely for the next available specimen. This isn't fiction. This isn't exaggeration. This is the documented reality of today's market, a market that rewards patience, history, and those who see treasure in the most unassuming places. Music swells to powerful orchestral rise. So when you hold a 1942 with P-War nickel in your hand, remember, you're not holding a coin. You're holding a piece of wartime victory, worth more than some people's annual salary. If you want to start your own hunt, here's your key. Look for nickels from 1942 to 1945 with the large mint mark above Monticello. That's your gateway to identifying a true war nickel. The P is your proof. And if that coin carries a warm brown shade, don't dismiss it. That patina might be your ticket to fortune. Use gentle magnification to inspect Jefferson's cheek and Monticello's steps. Sharp detail means minimal wear, and even circulated coins can fetch life-changing prices if the toning is natural and even. Never clean, never polish. The moment you do, you erase the very surface that makes the coin valuable. Store it in a dry, airtight case, and if you suspect you've found something rare, send it to a reputable grading company for authentication. Because with these coins, one simple discovery can change everything. The 1942 with P-War nickel isn't just a collectible. It's a story of America's unity under fire, a coin that turned necessity into legacy. It reminds us that value isn't just in what a coin is made of, but what it stands for. This coin stood for sacrifice, for innovation, for victory, and today it stands as a $186,000 monument to America's unstoppable spirit. Because here on CoinX USA, we don't just chase shiny metal. We uncover the soul of every coin, the blood, sweat, and history that made it priceless. And next, we move to a war nickel that breaks every expectation. A coin so mysterious, even experts once doubted it existed, until it reappeared in an auction that stunned the world. Coin number 8. It was the middle of the war, 1943. America's factories were roaring, soldiers were fighting, and the mint was doing something it had never done before. They weren't just striking coins, they were striking history. Right here, in my hand, is one of those witnesses, the 1943 Monticello War Nickel, a 5-cent coin with a story bigger than its size and a value that'll leave you speechless. This coin came out of San Francisco at a time when every piece of metal mattered. It survived a world war, decades of circulation, and a lifetime of change. And yet, today it stands as one of the most valuable nickels ever struck in the United States. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not just a coin's story. It's a glimpse into America's wartime soul and the treasure it left behind. The year was 1943. Nickel, the very metal that gave these coins their name, was in crisis. The military needed every last ounce for tanks, naval armor, and airplane engines. So once again, the mint turned to a new formula: 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. Silver in a nickel, it sounded like madness, but it was brilliance in disguise. These special wartime nickels carried a powerful new mark, a large mint letter above Monticello's dome. For the San Francisco Mint, it was the proud S, bold, unmistakable, and symbolic. It said, "This coin exists because America fights together." Every 1,943 S nickel minted in that San Francisco facility was part of that mission. And everyone that survived to today carries the weight of that history in its metal. This coin wasn't made for collectors. It was made for victory. But decades later, it became both. When you hold a 1,943 with S war nickel, it feels different, lighter, smoother, almost silky. That's the silver talking. You can spot it instantly, a pale, bright surface with hints of gray and gold from natural aging. Look closer, and you'll see Jefferson's portrait still firm, his gaze timeless. Flip it over. The Monticello building shines through decades of wear, its architectural lines softened by circulation, but still noble, still clear. And right above it, that iconic large S mint mark, carved deep, proud, and perfectly centered. Each one of these mint marks was applied with meticulous precision. The mint knew these weren't ordinary coins. They were pieces of national unity, destined to outlast the war itself. The 1,943 with S also displays subtle differences in die pressure and relief compared to its Philadelphia and Denver siblings, a nuance that serious collectors crave. These details make the 1,943 with S a cornerstone of any war nickel collection. At first, people spent these without a second thought. They were 5 cents, just change in a pocket, passing through the hands of soldiers, mothers, and factory workers. But as the decades passed, the world changed, and so did coin collecting. The war nickels became legends. The 1,943 with S in particular is one of the hardest to find in well-preserved, circulated condition. The unique San Francisco silver alloy reacted differently to the environment, often darkening or corroding faster than other issues. That means true, naturally aged examples, the ones that survived beautifully, are extremely scarce. And collectors? They're obsessed. Auction houses have reported bidding wars where prices leap tens of thousands in seconds. Investors from across the world want a piece of the U.S. wartime mintage story. The demand for these coins isn't slowing down, it's exploding. Because each surviving 1,943 S nickel is one less relic left for the rest of us. Not long ago, a verified 1,943 with S Monticello war nickel, circulated but beautifully preserved, sold at auction for an eye-widening $180,500. Yes, you heard that right. $180,500. For a nickel that cost 5 cents to make 82 years ago. It's not rumor, not hype, it's fact. A recorded sale that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Experts say it's just the beginning. The silver content, the wartime history, the scarcity, it's the perfect storm for skyrocketing value. These coins are climbing in worth year after year, and collectors are calling them the sleeping giants of American currency. So if you think war nickels are small change, think again. They're tiny pieces of silver carrying big-time potential. This is wealth hiding in plain sight, and the clock is ticking. If you're hunting for treasure in your change jars or coin rolls, pay attention to nickels dated 1942 to 1945. Flip them over. Look just above Monticello. If you see a large mint mark, PD or S, you're looking at a war nickel. And if it's the S, and it shines with that natural silver-gray tone, you could be holding something extraordinary. Never clean it. Natural circulation tone tells the story that collectors pay for, destroy that, and you destroy the history. Store your finds carefully in dry, airtight holders, and if you suspect you have a rare 1943 with S, get it authenticated. Because that small 5-cent coin could be your entry ticket into six-figure territory. This isn't about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. And now, you do. The 1943 with S Monticello war nickel is more than metal. It's memory. It's sacrifice, molded into silver. A coin that tells the story of a nation that refused to quit. From the hands of wartime workers to the vaults of collectors, it has endured. And today, it stands as a $180,500 symbol of American perseverance. So when you hold a war nickel, remember, it's not just a coin. It's courage. It's innovation. It's history shining in the palm of your hand. And here at CoinX USA, we uncover that hidden wealth every single day. The coins that others ignore. The treasures that time forgot. And the stories that make your heart race and your mind believe again. Coin number 9. Some coins whisper their story. Others roar with it. Right here, in my hand, lies a coin struck in the very heart of war. A piece of silver that carried America's heartbeat across oceans and decades. This is the 1944 with D. Monticello war nickel, a wartime treasure that defied destruction, conquered time, and now commands a price that feels almost unreal. A nickel that once passed through soldiers' hands, through ration lines and victory gardens, now rests as one of the most sought-after silver relics in American coin history. And what's most shocking, it was born not of luxury, but of necessity. The year was 1944. The world was still at war. Nickel, the metal, had become a weapon of victory. Every ounce was being devoured by tanks, artillery, and armor plating. So the U.S. Mint, driven by urgency, made a radical move. They replaced nickel with silver. And so the war nickels were born. But the Denver Mint, known for its precision, did something extraordinary. They struck the 1944 with D war nickel with a larger, prouder D mint mark, boldly placed above the Monticello dome, as if to remind every American that even in chaos, craftsmanship endures. Each of these coins carried 35% silver, a reminder of sacrifice, forged into everyday currency. And each coin, struck in Denver that year, symbolized a nation still fighting and still believing in tomorrow. Every 1944 with D nickel is a chapter of that courage, and every surviving piece is a message from history saying, "We made it." When you examine a 1944 with D war nickel, it doesn't just shine, it speaks. Its color glimmers with soft silver-gray tones that come alive under light, a product of its copper, silver, and manganese blend. Jefferson's portrait looks resolute, almost defiant. The texture of his coat, the lines around his jaw, and the word "liberty" on the left are deeply engraved, a striking contrast to the smoothness of post-war nickels. Flip it over, and the Monticello design tells another story. Graceful arches, perfect symmetry, a structure that represents strength and endurance. But right above that building, the large D mint mark stands proud and centered, bold proof of Denver's wartime production. This wasn't a standard mint mark. It was a signal, a sign that the coin was made during a time when even small metals could make a big difference. And it's that proud D standing strong over silver that has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. For years, the 1944 with D circulated like any other nickel, through hands, through history. But time has thinned their ranks. Most war nickels were melted for their silver after the war. Thousands disappeared. What remains are only the survivors. Coins like this one, carrying the soul of 1940. Collectors know this coin's story, and they chase it relentlessly. Why? Because the 1944 with D isn't just a war nickel, it's the perfect storm of rarity, silver, and American heritage. Fine condition specimens, where Jefferson's portrait still gleams, the Monticello still stands clear, and that bold D remains untouched, have become legendary. When they appear at auction, they ignite a frenzy. Each sale sets a new record. Each record makes the next coin rarer still. And that's what drives the value of the 1944 with D into the stratosphere. Recently, a certified 1944 with D Monticello war nickel in fine, naturally aged condition shocked collectors everywhere when it sold for an unbelievable $178,000. Yes, $178,000 for a single 5-cent coin. It's not fantasy. It's not rumor. It's the undeniable truth. And experts agree this coin's value is still climbing. Its silver content, its wartime origin, its scarcity all combine to make it one of the most potent collectibles in modern U.S. numismatics. Collectors say it's like holding a piece of victory itself, and investors see it as a sleeping fortune. A coin that can change your entire perception of small change. If you're hunting through old jars or inherited collections, look carefully. Search for nickels dated 1942, 1945, the war nickel years. Then flip them over and look right above Monticello's dome. If you see a large mint mark, especially the bold D, you could be looking at a silver war nickel worth far more than its face value. Examine the surface. Fine condition examples will show clear details, slight softness around the cheek and steps, but no deep scratches or cleaning marks. And remember, never clean it. Every tone, every hue of silver or grey is part of the coin's natural story. Seal it in a protective holder, get it authenticated, and you might just be sitting on a fortune that's still appreciating every single day. Because these aren't coins you find, they're coins that find you. The 1944 with D Monticello war nickel is more than currency. It's courage cast in silver, the echo of a generation that sacrificed everything so the world could move forward. It's a coin that fought for freedom, traveled through time, and now stands as a beacon for collectors who understand that true value isn't printed, it's earned. So when you hold a war nickel in your hand, you're holding a piece of American strength, a glimmer of history's heartbeat. And here on CoinX USA, we bring you those stories every single day. Stories of hidden wealth, unspoken history, and treasures still waiting to be found. Coin number 10. When the world began to breathe again in 1945, America was tired, victorious, and forever changed. The soldiers were coming home. The cities were celebrating peace. And deep within the U.S., mint in San Francisco, a small silver coin was being struck for the final time in a wartime alloy, the last of its kind. This is that coin, the 1945 with S. Monticello war nickel, a 5-cent piece forged from history itself. It doesn't glitter like new silver. It's dark, worn, dirty from age and touch. But beneath that humble surface lies one of the most powerful and valuable war nickels ever created. A coin that closes an era and opens a legend. Because sometimes the end of a war doesn't end a story. It begins a treasure. The year was 1945, the war's final chapter. The U.S., Mint was still producing nickels with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, a composition born of sacrifice. These coins were made because the nation needed its nickel metal for tanks and weapons. Silver had stepped in to save the day, literally. And at the San Francisco Mint, the team struck the last full run of wartime nickels, proudly marking each coin with a bold, unmistakable S above Monticello's dome. This mint mark didn't just signify where the coin came from, it marked the end of an era. The 1945S was the final whisper of a wartime innovation that had served its purpose. Millions were made, but few survived the decades that followed. Many were melted down when silver prices rose. Others simply vanished in circulation, forgotten in drawers, discarded in change jars. But a tiny handful, those that weathered history untouched, now shine brighter than gold in the world of collectors. The 1945 with S War nickel carries a strange beauty. Its surface, often covered in a dusty grey patina or fine dirt, holds the fingerprints of time. Look closely and you'll see Jefferson's portrait, still noble and sharp even after 80 years. His cheekbones, his coat, the word liberty still stand strong, proof of the mint's remarkable wartime craftsmanship. Flip it, and the Monticello building emerges like a monument half-shrouded in shadow. And there, bold, centered, and raised proudly above it all, sits the large S mint mark. That single letter tells the entire story. It's the mark of San Francisco, the mint that helped power America's coinage through the war, the city that struck silver while the world rebuilt. Even in dirty or circulated condition, this coin radiates an authenticity that no modern minting can replicate. Each scuff, each shadow of oxidation is a reminder that this coin lived through history. And for collectors, that's where the magic lies. Collectors have always known the war nickels are special. But the 1945 with S, it's the crown jewel of the entire series. It's not just rare, it's the final wartime issue, the last silver nickel America ever produced. That makes it historically irreplaceable. Most examples today are either heavily worn or damaged. Finding one in fine, natural, untouched condition is almost impossible. And that scarcity has created an energy around this coin, a kind of fever. Auction houses have seen bidding wars that defy logic, collectors refusing to back down, voices rising as the numbers climb. Because everyone knows, once the last few 1945 with S specimens are locked in private collections, they may never surface again in our lifetime. The demand isn't fading, it's accelerating. Collectors, investors, and even historians all agree. This coin's story and its silver make it one of the most secure, emotionally charged treasures in the modern numismatic world. And when one of these coins, a 1945 with S Monticello War nickel in naturally aged fine condition, hit the auction block recently, it didn't just make news. It made history. Final sale price, $170,500. That's right, over $170,000 for a 5-cent coin. This isn't myth. It's reality. A coin that began its life in the chaos of war now stands as a 6-figure masterpiece in the hands of collectors who understand its worth. And experts believe the value will continue to climb as the world rediscovers these small silver giants of the 1940s. Don't mistake this for fiction. This is the truth, a treasure hiding in plain sight. If you're coin hunting or exploring old family collections, pay close attention to nickels dated 1942 to 1945. Flip them over and look above Monticello. If you see that large mint mark, especially the S, congratulations. You may be looking at a silver war nickel that holds a story of both struggle and triumph. For the 1945S, look for natural toning, grey or soft brown, is ideal. A visible S mint mark above the building. No signs of polishing or harsh cleaning, even in dirty condition. Just like this one, the value lies in its authenticity. Seal it in a coin flip or airtight capsule. Store it dry, away from humidity. And if it looks like something special, get it graded. You might just be holding a $170,500 piece of American history. Voice softens. Coins like these don't just appreciate in value, they appreciate you for finding them. The 1945 with S. Monticello War Nickel isn't just the end of a chapter. It's the final breath of wartime minting, a silver echo of sacrifice, unity, and victory frozen in time. It's a coin that witnessed America's greatest test and came out shining. Even in dirty condition, it holds its dignity. Even after 80 years, it holds its power. And even today, it holds a value that could rewrite your definition of treasure. So the next time you pick up an old nickel, look closer, because what looks like dirt might just be destiny. And here, at CoinX USA, we'll keep uncovering that destiny every single day, revealing the hidden wealth, the forgotten stories, and the coins that make history come alive again.